This is Alin from Javelin playing with the new toys in SolidWorks 2013. There is one new enhancement in particular that has the potential to solve an old problem for in-context design, which is what's happening when you have in-place mates and you need to move the parts. So let's take a look at this assembly. I have only one component already there. I'm just going to create a new virtual component right here, so brand new part. Let's select this face to define the front plane of the new part, and let's create a sketch that's going to reference the face of the existing part. Maybe it's going to be an offset of 1/8. And let's extrude this by 1/2 inch. Coming back to the assembly, and as you know, this part is being fixed by the in-place mates, or located by the in-place mate, which is a way to say that the front plane is already defined by the fact that I selected this face when I started the part, and the rest is tied by the relations in sketch number 1. So what's happening when you want to move this away from this location? Well, obviously you need to suppress or delete the in-place 4. So let's see what's happening when you try to delete it. Actually, allow me to save this assembly before doing that. So if you delete the in-place mate, you have to choose between keeping the part in the context of the assembly, so the references in sketch number 1 are going to stay there, or breaking these references. Now if you break the references, I guess you know what's going to happen. If I change the original part, the coppery part, the new part is not going to change. So let's see what's happening if I do not remove these references. Now that mate is gone, this part is free to move. I can rotate it any way I want. But the moment I hit rebuild, the shape of the part is going to change. And how it's going to be changed? Well, if you did a sketch and you go normal to the sketch, you see what's happening. It just projects the original face onto the new sketch plane, which kind of makes sense. So deleting the in-place mate, in my book, it's a no-no. Now let's see what would happen if you don't delete the in-place mate. So what I usually tell my students is leave the part where it is, make a copy of it, place it wherever you want, and after that just suppress the original. So this is what I used to do in SolidWorks 2012. Now if I change the original part, I mean the reference part, this second part, the second instance of the part is going to change. So that's good. But what if, allow me to unsuppress this part, what if I have a second part that's being defined on this one? So if I'm going to insert a brand new part on this face, and I'm going to repeat the same process by using 1/8 of an inch offset. Extrude this out again, let's say this time maybe 3/4 of an inch, and going out. Now the moment I suppress my part number 8 and I'm changing the original, let's say the first part, I mean back to 4, this guy is not going to change, obviously, because it's built on something that's being suppressed at this time. You need to unsuppress this in order to update this part. So even the suppression workflow doesn't work all the time. What else can I do? What I can do in SolidWorks 2013 is to define this component as an envelope. This is new and it's extremely powerful. I can define it as an envelope even if it's a part or if it's an assembly, so any type of component. As you can see, it becomes kind of translucent, and by the way, you can choose how this is going to be shown. There are options for that. The other thing is, as an envelope, is going to be automatically excluded from the bill of material. As an envelope, its mass doesn't count. So it's the perfect situation for a part that you need to have it as only as a construction part. You can make as many copies as you want of its instances, and you can orient them wherever you want. They're still going to be based on this original part. So I can change this now. Let's go to 4.5, rebuild. Everything is fine because the geometry rebuilds as expected. Now, when you create a drawing that contains an envelope, so let's create a drawing of this assembly. I don't know, let's say this size. And let's pick up this orientation. As you can see, the envelope by default, one envelope component, is by default hidden. So that's pretty good. That's probably what you need in 99% of the cases. If you want to show it as a reference, it's just a matter of going to the properties of that view and turning on show envelope. And the envelope is going to be shown with that specific line font. As you have seen in this video, the enhanced functionality for envelopes introduced by SolidWorks 2013 eliminates an important source of frustration and errors for in-context design.